into my Bible.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Hi everyone, my name is Iman, I'm 21 years old, I'm single and I'm Moroccan.
Yo, what's going on, peeps? It's Rance, the Enigma, age, and relationship status unknown.
Nice one.
I'm Daily, I'm 26, from the Domino Effect podcast, and relationship status taken.
Yeah, I'm Eddie. I'm 26. I'm 28. The other half of the Domino Effect podcast, the most valuable host. We're here again.
Okay, so today's topic is something that I have seen on this podcast and just in my day-to-day life, and that is the victim mindset and victim mentality of modern women. So the example I use of this is something that's happened a couple times in this podcast. I've had men and women both go viral on this podcast for the wrong reasons, okay? People come on the show and they'll wild out. And what happens is the men, I never hear from. They just kind of take the L and move on. But the women will come to me and start blaming me for their bad behavior on the podcast and for going viral for the wrong reasons. Why do men take accountability for their actions where women always seem to point the finger? I'd like to hear from the men first.
I guess I should go first since I'm here, but I think that there is, from a young age, as a boy, man, you're somewhat held accountable from then. You know, so if you do something wrong, especially I'm Nigerian, so if you did something wrong, you'll hear it from your dad when he comes home, kind of thing. So, you know, you're told very early on your actions have consequences, and so you need to make sure that you don't do the wrong things in order to not have those consequences. But a lot of times, I do think certain cultures don't have that same energy when it comes to women, and that might be why.
Yeah, I just think self-awareness, innit? I feel like as a man, you're forced to have that. Do you know what I mean? From early days, when you're in the playground, you know what I'm saying? If you're fat, you're the goalkeeper. It just is. Bruv, it just is what it is. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you get picked last. If you're not the guy, no one complains. Like, everyone kind of knows. Like, there's an accountability, there's a hierarchy amongst men. Like, we just know from early, like, where we kind of fit in, innit? Like, we live in a world where we get shown and told where we are all the time and what we are in it. And I just feel like for women there isn't really that, but I think their friends just lie to them too much.
Leading on from that as well, I think it's self-awareness. If you're a man and you're short, fat, and you're broke, the world will tell you as soon as you enter the dating marketplace or you enter the world on what your status is. Whereas a woman, if you're overweight, you'll probably have a body positivity group say that's the right way to be. So I think there's a lot of ways to mummy coddle women where men aren't afforded that luxury.
Well, to emulate what the man them said, men are forced to have to live in reality from young. Girls growing up are just never told no. So they grow up with this idea that, you know, the world kind of revolves around them. So that's why I mentioned that, you know, men have to create their value throughout life, while women are given their value. So with that, you're afforded two different mentalities as you're growing up and going through life, and that allows women to operate from this facade of what the reality shows. So when anything goes against that kind of cognitive dissonance, there's a combativeness towards that.
So, question for the women. Is it just me? Is this just something that I see where women don't take as much accountability as men do? Or have you seen that in real life? Like, do you agree? Do you disagree? You can start.
Okay, I kind of partially agree, but at the same time, there was something that the last guy said that just triggered something in me, like that's just not true. Like, I think women do take accountability and they are shaped from young as well. The levels of accountability are very different, and I definitely agree. The fantasy spin, I think, is very feminine, and the kind of like I'm gonna reshape reality. I think that is a feminine trait, but that doesn't mean that both sexes don't have an issue with accountability. I absolutely think that there is an issue with accountability in society for all sexes at this moment.
Where do you see that men don't take accountability?
I think men don't take accountability for the status and actual kind of weight that they have put on themselves, and they complain about it like it's women that have kind of put this weight on their shoulders and how they should shape their reality is like because of women, and women don't have that same pressure. I think they've done that to themselves.
Can I have a specific example? I don't understand what you're talking
Even
about.
just being like, okay, so the role of being the breadwinner or the one that has to provide everything, I think that is men that have put that on themselves. I don't think that has anything to do with women.
You don't think that has anything to do with women when women want a guy that makes at least 30% more than them?
No, I don't think there are that many women that think that like that.
No, it's if you survey women and ask them, they want a man that makes at least 30% more than them. And if a woman, one of the number one indicators. Indicators of divorce is if a woman out earns the man.
I guess ain't no way I can skip this, so I guess I just sing randomly. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. La 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 la. If I had a pancake, I'd eat it with butter. I'd eat it with syrup.
The man.
This is the
And
facade
would that not come from men?
100.
What?
Would they not be the ones that are not comfortable?
No,
with that?
because the women initiate divorce. So women leave 70 to 80%.
always.
No, 70 to 80% of the time, women leave, and 90% if they're college educated. So the higher up a woman goes in terms of income and status, the more likely she leaves.
Okay.
But it's
Now
also
you're saying she's
something.
leaving because
Yes.
she's earning more. And no, I'm saying that she may be like, I'm not satisfied in this relationship because he has an issue with me earning more, and I don't want to stay in this dynamic.
So from what I've seen in the guys, you can maybe correct, like you can tell me what you've seen because you guys. I see the girls side. I found when girls move up in making money, they're around more men that make more money than them. So I think on some level they kind of wish they were with the men they were working with rather than their husbands. And so they kind of see what they're not getting, and then they leave.
I can see that in some circumstances, but I actually think the troubles in a house when a woman is earning more isn't necessarily about that dynamic. I think it really is the ego.
This goes back to a woman's nature. So we all had the term hypergamy. So women are married for across up social hierarchies. So naturally, women are programmed to always get the best that they can get. So at the time when she got married to her man, that might have been the best that she could get at the time. But then as she elevates herself past him, then she's in a new tax bracket with new men who are at a higher level. Therefore, that hypergamous nature starts to kick in again and says, I can do better than what I currently
But
have.
we're neglecting that the man in this situation is also contributing to the dynamic of that
But there's
relationship.
contributing and there's acting on it. So
Yes.
a man wouldn't divorce a woman necessarily because she earns more than him, whereas
But it
a
may
woman will
be
divorce a man
hell.
because she earns more than.
But it may be hell in that, and this is the part that nobody is going into. So should she stay in a house where it's hellish?
But this is the
Because
thing.
to have
this
a
is the
man.
thing.
Hold on, where are we going?
Isn't it-
Because I
isn't
just feel like the goalpost just got moved to like
where?
to like the
Isn't it the case
touchline
that
or
if a
something.
man it tends to be that if a man's earning less than his wife, he tends to